I wish to commend Ms. Mitzi Ellis Simpson for a job well done and for daring to tackle a work of this nature. Most of our attempts to record any of the current events or current happenings of our little country have been done using the rather dull words of history. Such work has often been left to old people, mainly because I think that the laborious task of compiling the reference section is a daunting one and is better left to old people who have more patience. And secondly, she has chosen to focus on current events of the state. Thus, most of her recordings you will find deals with matters that have occurred in her own lifetime. This fact has made it possible for the camera to be used with full effect, so we can enjoy the beauty of color and pictures which tell a long story in a very short time. I don't know how long she took with the work, but when I look at the reference section, I have to say, yes, she must have spent a lot of time out of the house. So congratulations to her husband as well. And now I shall call upon Miss Evadne Terry, mother of the author, to give us the invocation.
Father God, we thank you today for your continued blessing upon us. We welcome you in our midst, dear God, as we gather in support of this book launching ceremony to officially release the book, Secret Code British Virgin Islands. Today we ask for your special blessing, God, upon my daughter, who is the author of Secret Code British Virgin Islands, Mitzi M.J. Ellis Simpson. We thank you for giving her the research capabilities necessary and the drive and determination to compile such a relevant and dynamic economic history book about the British Virgin Islands. We ask that this work, through your blessing, will impart knowledge and be useful to residents and visitors alike. I ask these words in Jesus' name, amen.
Now we'll call upon the Director for the Department of Culture, Ms. Luz Hodge-Smith, to give some comments.
A pleasant good afternoon to everyone. Before I proceed with my very brief remarks, I'd like to extend apologies for Honorable Myron Walwyn, Minister for Education and Culture. Honorable Walwyn intended to be here today, however, a matter came up that required his attention at this time. But congratulations are certainly in order for our newest author here in the Virgin Islands. Congratulations, Mrs. Mitzi Ellis Simpson. Yes, a round of applause. For achieving this particular milestone. Certainly one you ought to be very proud of. And from this gathering here this afternoon, it's safe to say that there are many besides your family who are proud of you as well. On behalf of the Ministry of Education and Culture and the Department of Culture, I wish you much success with this book. Now, the Department of Culture is very pleased to have assisted you over a period of weeks to bring you to this big day. And we are even more pleased to add yet another book about the Virgin Islands and to add you to our growing list of local authors. This book being launched today marks the 27th book the department has launched or assisted in launching since 2007. And just to give you an account, in 2007 it started with the Virgin Islands Callaloo, Poems from the Caribbean. In 2010 we launched 2 books, The Way We Were by Andrea Flax and A Timely Journey of Faith by Sheila Brathwaite. In 2011, we did 4 books. Take Me to My Paradise by Dr. Colleen Cohen. The Plan, Unlocking God's Financial Blessings for Your Life by Mr. Mead Malone. The Healing Hand of God by Miss Shirley Cohen. And The Eye of the Storm by Alison Knights Bramble. And then in 2012, we did Financial Services Demystified by Miss Ayana Hull. And in October, as 12, we did also in November, Virgin Verses 4, Golden Jubilee Anthology, Golden Echoing Chimes of Our Heritage by Dr. Quincy Letsam. In 2013, we did 4 books, Tried, Tested, and Tempted by Mr. Alan Blyden, and Building a Virgin Islands Sloop, The Story of Simoon by Mr. Jeffrey Brooks. Angus Shinnery, I Am Happiest When at Home, was done by Mr. Hugo Vanterpool. And also in 2013, we did Triumph, a collection of Christian poetry by Mr. Terence Vanterpool. In 2014, we did one launch, Out from Under My Rock by Dr. Luverne Baptiste. And in 2015, we did 3 books, Chain of Secrets by Lucille Skelton, Foniton's Christmas by Verna Penmall, and by Venoria Todman, we did the book, Who Cheats More Than a Politician? You Be the Judge. In 2016, we did 6 books, 150 Years of Achievements, 1834 to 1984 by Mrs. Jenny Whitley and Mrs. Eileen Parsons, A Story to Tell by Julia Housen, The Missing Link, Ring of Life by Chelsea Jean-Baptiste, Essence of Inspiration by Sharon Thomas, Virgin Islands, an Alphabetical Heritage by Dr. Quincy Letsam, and Where I See the Sun by various poets. And this year we started off with Make Us All Islands by Dr. Richard Georges, Food for Thought by Mr. Michael Anthony, The Ridge Road Murals by Mr. Ruben Vanterpool and Mr. Cedric Turnbull, and today we are launching Secret Code, British Virgin Islands by Mrs. Mitzi Ellis Simpson, and yet we have 2 more launches by July. So we are very excited. So that's the 27 to date, and it will be 29 by July. The one twice struck, the story of RMS Roan by Dr. Michael Kent, will be on the 29th of June at the J.R. O'Neill Botanic Gardens. And sometime in July, we will launch the book, Lord, What Is This? A book of stories of BVI past told to the author by her mother. The author of this book is Miss Doris Carmona. There are lots of more books to be written out there. I encourage persons aspiring to pen their first book to get started. I am no expert, but I believe that's the first step. And I encourage established authors like now Mitzi and Mr. Vanterpool and Mrs. Parsons. Do I see any other authors here? To encourage and to help those aspiring authors and those who have started, we encourage you to continue writing. And more importantly, I encourage established authors to help those who aspire, as I said before. I quote Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. She said, "The decline of literature indicates the decline of a nation." And I'm sure you will agree with me when I say that we have certainly seen an increase in books being published from the Virgin Islands, and as a result, we have increased or have improved upon the literary arts of the Virgin Islands. The onus now is on all of us here today to not just buy the books, but to read them, share them as gifts, and ensure and encourage our children to also read them. And I pray that this growth will continue for time to come. The Department of Culture pledges to continue to assist authors in launching their books. As a matter of fact, it is included in our work plan every year. However, it is included without the details because we are not aware of who published a book until we hear from the author. And when we do get the call or email, we will support the author wherever possible. Once again, congratulations, Mitzi, and we look forward to volume 2. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we are at a crossroads, sort of. in our writings. Mitzi has introduced to us a book that has a different kind of set of pages from the ones we've known. They're all pretty. And even if you want to put it down, you're going to find yourself wanting to see what is next and what is next until you reach to the end of it. Times were when we used to think that a history of a place had to be written in words. A long introduction with a lot of names behind it. Then pages and pages and pages of what do you call the historical data. And often it was so boring, by the time we got to the third page, we would put it on until we get a chance to go back to it. Very often we haven't reached back at all. So I'm saying that I think we reached a crossroad. We begin to realize that in this modern world where we have so much to say on other medium beside the printed word, we can get hold of a lot of information in a very short time. We are going to call upon Mr. Christopher Simpson now to give some remarks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll adopt the protocol already established. This evening is indeed a very special evening for me. I'm extremely privileged and honored to stand before you to introduce the book, Secret Code, British Virgin Islands, written by my beautiful wife, Mitzi J. Ellis Simpson, and dedicated to her daughter, Chelsea. When Mitzi first conceptualized the book, she was very adamant that it had to capture the Virgin Islands like no other book before. It had to present clear and concise facts about these beautiful islands in a thoughtful, analytical, people-oriented, and modern context. When I saw the final product, all I could say was, "You did it." Secret Code British Virgin Islands is about the history, government, economy, and the people of these Virgin Islands, and was written from a place of love and a desire to facilitate a greater understanding of the Virgin Islands' phenomenal natural wonders and an economy that has grown over time, matured in certain respects, faced challenges, both past and present, but still continues to demonstrate ambition, fortitude, and strength. According to Mitzi, it is the same main ingredient highlighted throughout Secret Code British Virgin Islands that is required to continue a prosperous paradise. Secret Code British Virgin Islands begins with a historical snapshot of the BVI from the pre-Columbian era to a nation's pride, including information on the territory's national emblems, which are fundamental to its identity. The book then presents its main chapters, starting with the governance of the Virgin Islands, then law and order, which among other things highlight the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force and some former attorney generals, including Mrs. Dancia Pensala QC and Mr. Louis Hunt QC, who was instrumental in the drafting of the International Business Companies Act in 1984. The book also looks at our legal system, including the Commercial Court Division and the recently established International Arbitration Center, which is seen as being crucial to the growth of the BVI as a dispute resolution jurisdiction. The book also discusses the twin pillars of the BVI, being the financial services industry and tourism, touching on their growth, challenges, and the way forward. In terms of financial services, what it has done for these Virgin Islands is without question, but the challenges now being faced and how these are addressed will certainly be critical to the future development of the territory. Some of these matters are discussed in the book, including growth of the jurisdiction and the benefits it can offer in international transactions, the current bank account difficulties being faced, the new regime in terms of beneficial owner information, the McKinsey report, and the restructuring of BVI finance, among other things. Of course, no one can deny the turquoise waters of these islands and the role tourism plays in its continued development. So the book examines tourism from its infancy, including the influence of Sir Lawrence Rockefeller and the development of Little Dix Bay, to fancy villas, crafts alive, and now the new cruise ship pier, coupled with statistical data, charts, and analysis. The book also uniquely highlights some of the political stalwarts who have contributed to the development of the BVI as chief ministers and premiers, including the renowned H. Lavity Stout and the recently retired Ralph T. O'Neill, among others. It also examines 13 industry leaders and pioneers, 9 women leaders, along with our badge of honorees who have all contributed in their own special way to BVI's development. The book also has chapters on health and education, which are 2 critical areas core to the economic and future growth of this mighty little giant. And finally, it covers some of BVI's most beautiful architecture, and most importantly, the beautiful people of the BVI in everyday life situations. As Mitzi says, indeed, mankind is center stage to all its little secrets. And in this way, Secret Code British Virgin Islands offers a deeper look at a small nation, a mighty little giant. So whether you're an investor, a citizen, a resident, a tourist, a financial professional, a student, Secret Code is a book for everyone. The book has beautiful pictures capturing historical landmarks, leaders, schools, tourism, and of course, people of the BVI. It also has beautifully illustrated diagrams and charts providing statistical information. So here's to an intimate experience and an exciting journey of struggles, triumph, resilience, and exploration that goes far beyond navigating the world, sailing capital and paradise. I am sure that, like me, you'll fall in love with the book and learn so much more about the BVI and how we can play our part in securing nature's little secrets for this and future generations to come. Thank you.
We'll call upon Ms. Kaiser Leonard, a friend of the author, to do an introduction.
Tonight is all about being granted the secret code to the British Virgin Islands. Are you excited? I can't hear you. Are you excited? Well, here we go. Mitzi is an entrepreneur at heart. She's a financial services professional, realtor, salon and spa founder, magazine publisher, humanitarian, and now author. After attending North Miami Middle School, Cedar International School, the BVI High School, she obtained an Associate in Science from the H. Lavity Stout Community College, and then a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from Missouri Southern State University. Having moved to Hong Kong in 2006, in 2008, Mitzi obtained a Master of Science in Finance from the City University of Hong Kong, and as a part of that program, her co-authored paper entitled Gold, Platinum, Silver, Demand and Supply in the International Finance Market, an Empirical Analysis, won her a Most Outstanding Academic Paper Award from the university. During her time in Hong Kong, Mitzi also obtained certifications in asset management, investment advice, insurance, and work as a financial consultant. She is the founder of MJS and Associates, Inc., which provides a wide range of corporate service to a growing international clientele. And prior to establishing MJS, Mitzi worked in the BVI financial services industry since 1998 in the areas of corporate administration, trust and fiduciary services, with leading trust companies and law firms in the BVI, and subsequently as a consultant in her own right. She is also the founder of Paradise Realty Limited, a leading BVI real estate firm. Her real estate publication, the Virgin Islands Real Estate Book, showcases properties and for sale and rent in the BVI. She is the former president of Lions Club of Tortola and the Lion of the Year awardee, and also a former public image director
of the Rotary Club of Tortola. For her work as Public Image Director, Mitzi was awarded the Best Image Plan for Rotary District 7020 in 2016. Mitzi's wide range of exposure and experiences has allowed her to speak from a unique position about the BVI. Her home, from Tortola to Virgin Gorda, from emancipation to financial services and tourism, her book's unique historical perspective is sure to teach, inspire, and raise important discussions vital to the future of the BVI. It is certainly a book for all from an inspiring new author. Mitzi is married to Christopher, and they share a beautiful daughter, Chelsea, to whom the book is dedicated. Congratulations, Mitzi, for such a great book. You are an inspiration to us all. Please join me in welcoming to the podium the author, our author. Please repeat with me. Mitzi J. Alice Simpson.
If she put it like that, I guess I have to pretty much, like, I want to cry. Thank you very much for that introduction, Kaiser. I really appreciate that very much. I am very much delighted by this wonderful support this evening. Before I share a bit of my journey in writing Secret Code British Virgin Islands, I want to first thank the Almighty God for this day and each of your presence here. Thank you all very much for your support. Secret Code British Virgin Islands. I heard a few times since I announced its launch that it has an intriguing title. It sounds interesting. One person said, "Lord Mitzi, what secrets you have in there?" And so forth. It's no coincidence that Secret Code British Virgin Islands has already aroused curiosity among us, and so the title was settled on to capture a wider audience of readers locally and internationally that want to know more about our paradise, the Virgin Islands. A matter of fact, it was just only after completing about 80% of my manuscript that I settled on this title. My thesis statement has set the tone for this book. Of all its little secrets, mankind has been center stage to the struggles, wealth, triumph, and ambition of the British Virgin Islands. The simplicity of this statement, I believe, unlocks the real code that I attempt to illustrate in this book. With respect to the word secret in the title, some international persons may think we have some sort of protected secrecy as it relates to our financial services industry. I was also inspired by our tourism slogan, Nature's Little Secrets, and so it was only fitting to use the word secret. The code is about me revealing our secrets in terms of what we are all about, our national identity, our governance, our achievers, and just various aspects of the things that make us unique as a country. Secret Code will be broken down further when you read the book. It is a book of historical facts and current affairs that unlock features that are critical to the economic rise of the Virgin Islands. I have tapped into our social science and humanity, providing a glimpse of our paradise, while also taking a statistical approach to very important topics: understanding the economic development, everyday life and culture, historical change in various sectors such as tourism and financial services, the rising importance of nationalism, health, education, safety and security, the role of the government, highlighted pioneers and industry leaders, All are of great significance that are bound to raise important discussions and further educate our population and the wider world about this little nation. It was sometime in the fall of 2013, I felt a compelling need to write a good country book that would be of benefit to me, my family, the local and international market, my real estate business in relation to investors and persons relocating. I do believe it was more than just wanting to write a book. It has plenty to do with how my life has been shaped academically, career-wise, and my love of history. So I started to explore. I took every opportunity to visit bookstores when I traveled just to get an idea of how others presented themselves. I also reviewed the literatures that were available in the local market, and this is the way my project started to take shape. My weekends were spent visiting historical sites, interviewing persons, collecting local books, attending events of significance with my camera, and so forth. I didn't really know how long it would take me to put this project together, but it was done at a pace not to hinder my daily responsibilities. At least I tried. My research went further than what I have published. One thing is certain is that it was written from a place of love. So in terms of my perseverance to complete this book, it is quite a satisfying and personal accomplishment that I dedicate to my daughter, Chelsea. On this note, I would like to especially thank my daughter, Chelsea, who I owe all the time in putting Secret Code British Virgin Islands together. Thank you, Chelsea, for also encouraging Mommy and your humor when you needed me to take a break. You and I know what time, Mom, means. Thank you to my mother, Evadne, for always believing in me and encouraging me every step of the way. Even when I burned the rice or underfry the egg, it was still good enough for you. You are my longest serving and forever #1 fan. I also take this opportunity to thank the Ministry of Education and Culture and the Department of Culture for their assistance with this book launch. There are several other government departments that have assisted me with extracting information that are relevant to this project, such as the Central Statistics Office, Deputy Governor's Office, and the National Archives and Records Management Unit. For this, I'm very grateful. At a critical time in my project, I was also lucky to stumble upon Mr. Ruben Vanterpool's, his gallery, which took me down memory lane of housing and everyday life in the BVI. I appreciate this very much. I also extend my appreciation to LMH Publishing Limited of Jamaica for taking on this project. I was like an exciting child when they agreed. I am so sorry that they are not here today, but a book like this would not be possible without the approval of their CEO, Mrs. Dawn Henry. Thereafter, the mastery of their editorial and design team was superb. Special thanks to managing editor Sean Harris and graphic designer Sanya Dockery for shaping Secret Code British Virgin Islands. Thanks to photographers Andre Shadow Dawson and John F. Black. Their love of photography is evident in their masterpieces. There are several other photo sources, including the H. Laverty Stout Community College and Mrs. Angie Davies, that I am grateful for. A special recognition to Mr. Jason Emmanuel for his assistance with the rendition of the Virgin Islands sloop and the diagram of the BVI Company incorporation process. The fungi and fish that is in the book was made by Chef Kenneth Molyneux. Thank you very much. It tasted as delicious as it looks. I will also be forever thankful to my wonderful husband, Christopher, whose invaluable support never wavered. I'm further deeply grateful to my former professor and master of ceremonies this evening, Mr. Hugo Vanterpool, who has also assisted me with the editing of this book. I would like to once again thank you, the audience, for your support, and thanks to anyone that I did not specifically mention. On a final note, I encourage one and all to take a glimpse of Secret Code British Virgin Islands. This beautiful country is our business, and I am happy that I can share this book with you. Thank you all very much. Okay, I would like to now present this book to the Ministry of Education and Culture, Mrs. Luz Hodge-Smith. Okay, I would also like to present another book to the Department of Culture, Mrs. Luz Hodge-Smith. Now, I would like to present this book to the Archives Unit, Mr. Varlak. Okay, and finally, I would also like to present this book to the Library Services Department, Mrs. Welzik.